and welcome to the Beef Edge, the Teagasc Beef Podcast, for all your latest news, information and advice for Irish beef farmers. I'm Catherine Egan, and on this week's episode, in the first of a two-part interview, I wanted to find out more of what's involved in a farm-to-fork enterprise. I'm joined by Jim Ryan, owner of Ryan's Farm, who operates a premium on-farm butchers alongside his farm in Kells County, Meath.
Back in 2007, I killed 120 lambs in the factory, and I got cut on 70 of them. Now, for people that don't know what it is, we got paid up to 22 kilos, and after that, it stopped. So we had 70 lambs on it that were slightly overweight, not much, half kilo, kilo and a half, maybe two kilos for the maximum. But I was arguing with the factory man over the weight that we weren't getting paid for. And he said to me, if you don't like it, you should bring them home. So it just set off a light bulb moment in my head. And I said, I'm not going to live like this any longer. I'm going to kill my own lambs. So with that, I contacted Paddy Ward, who worked in Teagasc in Ashtown. And we went in for 3 weeks work to learn how to cut up lambs and lambs, cattle, and and pigs. I brought 2 lambs with me. The first day I went just to have a look at it. And so we killed 2 lambs and put them out at retail price. And it appeared that there was enough at it for a business. So that's where we started. We went into Ashtown in 2007 for 3 weeks, and I stayed for 3 years.
And from 2007, how did it come about to build the business?
Well, it started very slowly. It was very, very, very extremely tough at the very beginning. I remember the toughest day I ever had, and ever had since, was myself and my daughter Brona, was only 4 at the time, going to our first market at the dock. And it was the hardest thing I ever had to do, was walk away from the farm to do that. But when we got that day over us, at least that was the real start. So we started with a mobile unit that we bought in the north of Ireland, and we started the market in Dundalk, and then we went to the small market in Kells, and we started from there. We built it little by little. And then in those very early years, I was very lucky to meet a lady called Breed Carter who was starting a market in Glasnevin, an indoor market. I went in to look in an empty building, and we went in about 3 months later. That market started. It's our Saturday market in Dublin, in North Dublin, and we're there ever since.
Great, and it has been a real learning curve. What experience had you in starting a business before you started Ryan's Farm?
Well, we ran a very intensive farm here before. We used to do about 1,200 heifers a year, fattening them, and then BSE came and it put an end to that. And then we were suckling with about 140 top-end continental cattle, and there were 450 ewes here. So we did that right up until we were killed the lambs in 2007.
And you mentioned there that you did do some training with Teagasc, but what other training did you need or did you require for setting up the business?
Well, if we knew then what we knew now, we'll cover it later on. We probably should have done. We kind of went headlong into it and learned the hard way for a good few years on the way. We didn't do any specific training, only the main training we did in Teagasc with Paddy Ward. That was the main end of it. But there's lots of training, like you'll cover it later on, the questions that you could do, plan it a bit better than we did. But we just we learned along the way.
And from initially setting up the business, what did you require with regard facilities, etc., on the farm?
Well, when we did spend our 3 years in Ashtown, as I've said, and then with Paddy Ward with me, we started to design the processing facility at home. So it took all that time to design the building that we needed, look for planning permission. Then we secured Meath funding from Meath Leader, and then we went ahead and we built the building which we're in now, and it was opened in 2010.
It is really a family-run business, as you say, with your wife, Pamela, and children, Brona, Robert, and John. They're very much involved. How important is this for your business?
They're vital to the business. It's the only way it can operate. Pamela runs the office end of it, and the kids have been at the market since they were very young. And it's been excellent as well from a sales point of view and everything. A lot of our customers at the markets have watched our children grow up behind the counter, and lots of them have children at the same age of ours. Lots of them have kids in university like ours are. So it's been wonderful for a whole lot of them. But it's also been a great grounding for them. Early mornings, long days, dealing with customers, dealing with customer complaints, and learning. And they had to learn all about good meat themselves. They're all highly trained in all the meat cuts now, and safety, everything themselves. But it's been a great grounding for them.
You touch on it there, Jim, really the long hours that is involved. Can you talk me through your typical work week?
Okay, our week starts. We start a week on a Monday morning. We kill our pigs and we bring them down to. We're very lucky. The pig slaughtering facility, Anderson's the Mullet, is only 4 miles away. So we tip down there with the pigs in the morning. Back home on a Monday morning, tip in the lambs on the farm into the pen. Pick the lambs. We generally kill about 12 to 14 lambs every second week in ICM in Navan. So up to Navan with the lambs. And drop them off. They're the two main jobs on a Monday. When that's over, on a Wednesday on Tuesday morning, we collect the lambs. I collect the pigs. I'm always around the farm on a Tuesday. And then on Wednesday morning, I'm always in the factory about 6 o'clock on a Wednesday morning, and we cut up lambs, and I'm always with the butcher about 6 till 1 on a Wednesday. Now, the Thursday morning, which we do all our burgers, sausages, sausage rolls and all that, I'm with the butcher for about 4 hours every Thursday. So that's our Thursday. Now, we do our trim market on a Friday. So in the yard for 6:30, in trim for 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, we leave trim at about 4:30, 4:45, and home and wrapped up at about 6:30. And a Saturday morning is a 4:30 start, up to the factory, load all, depart the farm at 5:30, Dublin at 6:30. First customers in at 9 o'clock, and last customers in at 3, wash up, home and tidy up and leave the factory about 6:30 on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's very long hours, particularly on the Saturday. And you mentioned there that you're selling the produce. How are you selling the produce at the market?
Yes, 99% of what we do is directly to the customer. We do a small bit of super value work, our two local supermarkets with rashers and puddings, but only because I've decided it's not a direction we want to go. And so it's directly to the customer. So the connection with the customer, it has to be extremely close. It's always true. If you're very close to your customer, you're close to your business. So you need to know what they want. I need to know what they're looking for. There, about 8 years ago, it became obvious that our customers wanted pigs that were produced on barley and free-range pigs on barley and beans. So we put up a standard unit on our own farm for 80 pigs, and it works very well. They're on barley and beans, and it's an automatic feeding system, and it works very well. But you need to be close to your customers to know what, for lots of reasons, to know taste, if something's sausages are too salty, if lots of things. But if you're close to them, you'll find out what they want and you get it for them.
And Jim, what kind of meat is the customer buying on a weekly basis, or is it a one-off purchase that you're seeing?
We do nearly 42 different products now, and any customer can come to our counter and buy a full week's shopping, because say we vac pack all our lamb. Our diced lamb is sold vac packed, our diced beef is sold vac packed, and the sausages, there's a good week on them. The rashers we sell in packs of 8. There's 3 weeks on those, so they buy the whole lot: pork, beef, lamb, sausage rolls, whatever. A full week's shopping is available at the one sitting when they come to us just once.
And is it mostly mince or burgers or steaks, or what are you seeing from the beef side?
The beef side, all depends on the seasons. Diced beef is a hell of a good seller the whole way, say from September the whole way through till May, as is round roast. They are much tougher to move in the summertime. So you're back to mince and burgers. It can be quite seasonal, but every cut, ribeye has become extremely popular.
And you're saying there about the importance of the eating quality and the experience. It's very important, particularly for the customer. What are the customers asking you about the products that you're producing when you're meeting them on a weekly basis?
They all seem to want grass-fed beef. That seems to be number one. And price is not a problem, but the product must be 120% every time. They want steaks, they need to be well-aged. Mince needs to be fresh. Round roast need to be well aged. We would count our round roast as good as any good sirloin roast. The beef needs to be well aged, well hung, killed, stressless kill, and the temperature chain must remain unbroken at all times.
And have customers' preference changed, particularly with people cooking more at home?
Since lockdown especially, yes, we've a great resurgence of business. Would be well up in all the roasts. All of the beef roasts are going extremely well, and as I said before, ribeye, strip lines, fillets, everything's selling extremely well.
And with regard to the grass-fed beef, all the beef you're producing is quality assured. How important is that for your customer?
Well, yes, we would put it up in a sign at the market that we are quality assured. It needs to be quality assured. Also, our customers, believe it or believe not, would regularly come to the farm. So the standards you must all have the yards clean, all standards clean, pig sheds clean, straw bedded. Lots of them come down to see the lambs during lambing time, well bedded lambs, all of that. They believe it or believe it not, they want to see where it's produced, especially our good foreign visitors we have here, the Polish people and all those people. They know it inside out.
So traceability is key.
Yes.
That's great. Thanks very much, Jim.
Thank you.
That's all for this week's episode, and join me next week to hear more about Jim's story and how he manages the cattle from purchase to finish, and tips he has for farmers considering this career path. You can catch up on all other shows and interviews from the Beef Edge podcast on the Teagasc website at teagasc.ie, or you can listen on Apple and Google podcasts as well as Spotify. Don't forget to rate, review and subscribe so you never miss a show. For all other updates from our beef programme, keep an eye on our Twitter and Facebook pages. Until next time, I'm Egan, and thanks for listening.